strong, 145.63, and dollar yen 106.35. Brian, how are the futures looking right now?
Well, it's a pretty mixed picture, Ross, to tell you the truth. The Dow has remained a little bit steady, but we've seen a little more weakness in the NASDAQ and the S&P. That I just want to remind people, our fair value calculations, we're not 100% certain how pinpoint accurate they are, but they're moderately to the upside. So just keep that in mind. But a flat open in the Dow, negative in the NASDAQ, and negative in the S&P 500 if you look at the futures right now. In terms of the U.S. Treasury, your 10-year yield right now, it is ticking in at 3.64%, so it is holding steady there. Maura, over to you.
All right, Brian, well, crude oil prices are near a 4-week high today with supply risks back on center stage. Venezuela's President Hugo Chavez is threatening to stop exports to the U.S. amid an escalating legal battle between ExxonMobil and the South American country. Comes after the nationalization of a multi-billion-dollar project. Now, Exxon has won court orders freezing $12 billion in assets belonging to Venezuela's state oil company. Jonathan Cornafel is Asia Director of Hudson Capital Energy and joins us now for more. Is Mr. Chavez pretty much talking big here, talking tough, or could he actually come through with this threat?
Well, I think we've seen this kind of talk before from Mr. Chavez. It's really nothing new. He's done it in the past, but the fact remains he needs, and Venezuela needs, U.S. petrodollars. The Venezuelan economy is very dependent also on Citgo, which is located in the United States. It's one of the very few refineries that can take the heavy crude that PDVSA produces and turn it into the refined products. Chavez talks a big game, and he's done this before, but the fact remains he's way too dependent on the U.S. And lastly, oil is a global market. If he stops shipping oil to the U.S. for some reason, U.S. can just go to someone else to buy it or have someone else buy it for them.
Okay, so unlikely to happen in the way that he's threatening right now, but if this were to happen, for example, or if he does cut off supplies to the U.S. and the U.S. buys it elsewhere, whatever, how much of a boost could we see in the price of crude? We're at, what, almost $92 right now?
$92, $93. I think it'd be very interesting. You'd probably see a quick pop, $5, $10, immediately coming into the market. And then you'd see an immense amount of volatility in the options market and the futures market as everyone tries to figure out what is going on. Should we really be up here? Is the U.S. just going to get their oil somewhere else? Is Chavez going to fold? Is he going to keep doing this? So you would see quick pop and immense amount of volatility. And I would guess the market would actually start to settle off after just a couple days probably.
Jonathan, Brian Chapman in the U.S., just a quick Chavez follow about the motivation here. Is he looking for some collateral support from other countries? Does he actually think that these kind of threats will have an impact on ExxonMobil or the U.S. government? I mean, if he doesn't have credibility with these threats, then why is he bothering?
I think he's actually trying to gain credibility with his people and with the party at home because of the problems that he's had recently trying to basically rewrite the Constitution in his own favor, which failed. That was a big problem for him. And I think he's just kind of lashing out at anything he can get, lashing out at the U.S., who is obviously the first person he goes to when he has trouble at home.
Which means, Jonathan, you know, in a few days or so, oil speculators should go back and start looking at fundamentals again. Where do you think the oil price is going to go? I mean, it's hard to see. If we get a U.S. slowdown, there's no way the oil price isn't going to go down, is there?
Absolutely. I think it's very interesting what you've seen happen in the last couple of weeks when there is a lack of news from Venezuela or Iran. You start to see everyone focus on the fundamentals, as you said. It's really just a lack of news, and everyone says, oh, the U.S. is going into recession, and the market starts to fall off. As soon as one or two news bits come out about supply or an unruly government, immediately a $4 or $5 pop right back up again. So I think we're still going to stay between $87, $85, and $95 until something really pushes us out of this range.
All right, Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Jonathan Cornafel, Asia Director of Hudson Capital Energy. Now, other top stories we're following for you today. Guangzhou Automotive Industry could be the next company to test the IPO appetite in Greater China. The company is reportedly planning a dual listing